I'm pushing it to the absolute limit by getting stung by the most venomous fish that calls this ocean home. The dreaded sting of the scorpionfish is no joke, and I'm about to put its reputation to the ultimate test. Okay, what I have in front of me are two venomous species of fish. To my right, the lionfish. To my left, a very large scorpionfish. These fish are cousins, but there is very little dispute as to which has the more powerful venom. The scorpionfish venom is way worse than the lionfish. But if I can't handle the sting of a lionfish, there's no way I should dare to venture into the tank on my left. So I brought with me some sting-proof gloves. Don't worry, the gloves are gonna come off here in a little bit. But before they do, I wanna show you how these fish position their bodies as a defense mechanism without taking multiple stings. And you'll notice, as soon as I put my hand in the water, it's going to take on a defensive position. Look at that, see how it flared out its fins? Oh, see that? It like bucks its back into me. Ah, boom. Jabbing those dorsal spines into my glove. Getting stung by a lionfish, not gonna be a problem today. The gloves are off. It's time to enter the sting zone with the lionfish. The greatest health risk I face today would be having a major allergic reaction. Anaphylactic shock can be fatal, and is why I'm keeping an EpiPen close by for this entire experiment. Other severe reactions that may occur include seizures, paralysis, vomiting, and permanent tissue damage, all of which would require a trip to the hospital. All right, the time has come to enter the sting zone with the lionfish. On 3, you guys got your shot? Here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Oh! You got me. You got me good. Yeah, that stings. Definitely feels smoldery, not achy pain, like hot poker, dagger-like pain. Did you guys get that on camera? Oh, God. Oh, man. Checking my pulse. My heart is just flying right now. That was mostly adrenaline and nerves, but I definitely got nailed, for sure. Best way to describe how this feels is hot. Have you ever held like a hot cup of coffee without a sleeve on it and you just can't hold it? It's like that, except I can't put the coffee down. And I can handle this. This I can handle. Don't get me wrong. Taking a sting from a lionfish was no walk in the park, but the real test is still ahead of me. Scorpionfish stings pack a far more painful punch than that of the lionfish. Their razor-sharp spines are thicker and are laced with a toxic slime containing a more powerful venom. While both fish use their stings as a defense mechanism, the scorpionfish relies primarily on its camouflage to remain undetected. But when threatened, they will flare out their fins with spectacular warning colors and raise their spear-like dorsal to present a bed of spikes ready to impale any predator that dare attack. But what makes these fish truly terrifying is their ability to live in shallow water, where they often encounter humans. And not knowing how to treat their stings can have excruciating consequences. Now, this definitely does not feel good, but the scorpionfish is going to be way worse. It's well documented. This is the fish that's gonna put you through pain. Let's get hands-on and get a closer look at how it delivers its notoriously painful sting. This is me trying to cradle. Oh, see that? See those spines go up? No jutting or bucking with the spines, but dang, look at the size of those spines, each capable of inflicting a venomous sting multiple times more painful than that of the lionfish. Oh man, I think my heart just skipped a beat. And it is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to take a sting from the scorpionfish. In case you're wondering, I am nervous, for sure. This is like gotta be the most nervous I've ever been. I'm gonna take a sting on 3. Cameras ready? Here we go. 1. 2. 3. Oh! 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 Yeah, he got me. Oh! Did you guys get the shot? Please, I hope you got the shot. Oh! Oh, yeah. That was so much worse. Ah. That's my adrenaline going. That's my adrenaline going. Oh, this glove. Wow. Oh man, my adrenaline's going, but that is so much worse. Like times 100 worse. Immediate burning. Ugh. Did you guys get the shot? Please tell me you got the shot. Oh, that was awful. Oh man, I'm like wanting to like tourniquet my wrist because it hurts so bad.
You need the water yet?
Nope, I'm good for now. It's getting to I just keep feeling a little nauseous. Like I'm definitely feeling like I'm gonna puke. Oh man. I don't think I can take any more, guys. I think I gotta put my hands in. My hand is on fire. Feel how much worse, feel how much hotter this hand is.
Oh my God.
Isn't that wild? My hand is just radiating heat right now. I felt the spine go in like right up here. I mean, no blood, but guys, there's venom in there. All right, 114. Well, it certainly helps the heat because now my hands are just feeling like they're really on fire. It's actually like a pain relief in a sense of like, I can't tell what's the water and what's the venom at this point. I already feel like it's working. It doesn't feel cooler because my hands are in hot water, but my anxiety is going down. Man, the scorpionfish, I had to essentially stab myself with its fins once it put its dorsal up. That's one of the hardest things I've ever done, guys. Stabbing yourself with a fish is not easy. And I'm definitely feeling better. I think we might need a little more hot water, but this is working.
Which meant the hot water denatured the venom, lessening my body's reaction to it. But now that I've successfully endured the most venomous fish sting in the Americas, I must admit, I am curious about getting hands-on with the most venomous fish on Earth, the stonefish, which lives in Pacific waters and off the coast of Australia, is the most venomous fish known to science. Tell me in the comments section, should we dare enter the waters with the stonefish?
And today, I'm going to get stung by a stonefish. But first, we've got to find one. Let's get looking. It's going to be very hard to find the stonefish because in addition to their legendary sting, they are masters of hiding. The key to this is going to be to move slow, methodically, and to not step on the stonefish. You could be looking right at a stonefish and not even realize it. That's why so many people step on them by accident. But stonefish aren't all we have to look out for. This isn't the only animal that could do you harm here in the tide pools off of Australia. We also have cone snails and the blue ring octopus, one of the most lethal creatures in the world. And not only is it risky just being out here, but we also have to beat the clock. The tide is coming in fast, and this whole area is about to be completely underwater. So if we want to catch a stonefish, we need to do that before it happens. Everything looks exactly the same. This is gonna be tough. Oh, right there. You see it moving? That is the stonefish. And I never would have seen that fish if it didn't give itself away by moving. Holy smokes. Now these fish are so toxic, they don't really have a flight response. I'm gonna attempt to catch the most toxic fish in the world with my bare hands. All right, here we go. Wow, there it is. That is the stonefish. Look at that tide pool monster. I can't believe we found one. I mean, it looks like a living rock. I never would have spotted this fish if it didn't move. The fact that it swam a little bit there is the only reason I was able to catch this fish. And you can see how docile this fish is. It knows just how toxic it can be. Wow. But the table is set for what will be likely the worst sting I ever take. Placing the stonefish in the tank hit my nerves hard. I'm about to get stung by a stonefish. Stonefish stings are said to be one of the most painful experiences a human can endure. And I've already experienced my fair share of fish stings. One from the most common fish sting, which is the lionfish. And the other from the scorpionfish, which is the most toxic fish sting in North America. Oh, yeah, he got me. Oh, Each sting was painful, but I was certainly able to tough it out with basic treatment. However, each of those fish fall far short of the danger from the stonefish. Not every day you get to carry around the world's most toxic fish in a tank. This fish might just have the worst sting in the entire animal kingdom. Man, my nerves are firing right now. Just looking at this fish is so incredibly cool. Look at all the growths all over its body. Definitely earns its name, the stonefish, a master of camouflage. All right, let's go hands-on once again with the stonefish. The reason I can handle this fish is because it can only sting from the spines on top. Wow. This fish has developed the most potent fish toxin in the world. The toxin is only to defend itself. Unfortunately, as you can see, it is so docile that it's very easy for people to step on these fish, and that is the most common way people are stung by the stonefish. The toxin of this fish not only induces extraordinary pain, it can actually cause muscle spasms and eventual paralysis, and there have even been reported deaths from stonefish stings. But now I think it's time to see how this fish injects its venom. I'm going to just pour out this water. I'm gonna use this little tank here as a platform. This fish is perfectly fine being out of the water for extended periods of time because they've adapted the ability to actually hold water in their gills. It's not uncommon to see stonefish just laying on the rocks in these tide pools. So in the little bit of time that we have it here in front of the cameras, totally fine. All right, so I brought with me a piece of neoprene. I'm going to use this piece of neoprene to simulate skin so I can show you what would happen if you stepped on the stonefish. This animal has the ability to fire its venom into the wound created by its spine. That's why people who are envenomated and step on these stonefish end up in such a bad situation. It's not only that it's the most toxic venom, it's that you also get the most volume. Look at how sharp that spine is. Okay, in order to do this properly, I do need to get out some eye protection, so I'm gonna do that quickly. This venom, it has enough toxin in it to cause vision problems and perhaps even blindness. All right, let's see in slow motion how these spines inject venom. I'm gonna do these top two, guys, ready? Here they go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Look at that. And it's like blue. Holy cow, look at how much venom just came out of that fish. And let's do another one, do it one more time. Oh my gosh, guys, the spines are blue. And once those spines are out, they stay out and they're ready to defend. All right, let me try these spines on the back here. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that is what would be inside of your foot if you were to step on a stonefish. Now, it will regenerate its venom. This doesn't hurt the fish at all. And you can see these sheaths will just slide right back up. But holy cow, I gotta take a minute and process what I just saw. Oh, that is bad. I won't lie, I'm getting pretty nervous right now. This is something you should never do. I've consulted experts, people who have been stung. I've done my research, I've done my homework, but even still, I am extremely nervous about what is about to happen. It's said that this is the most painful sting in the world. Wish me luck. The moment has come. It's time to be stung by the world's most toxic fish. I am borderline terrified. I've thought long and hard about whether or not to even go through with this, but I'm doing this today because through my research on the stonefish, I have found a lot of misinformation out there. There is a lot of stories that pretty much describe certain death if you're stung by a stonefish, and that's just simply not the case. While this toxin in the base of its spines is extremely potent, it is thermolyable. So if treated properly and if needed with medical attention, you will survive the sting of a stonefish. Most of the victims that end up dying from stonefish stings, but has more to do with the pain and shock that leads to cardiac arrest. This venom is meant to cause you pain, but I have brought the antidote with me today. A thermos filled with hot water that's around 114 degrees Fahrenheit, a compress to hold over the wound. And then of course, if I do go into any state of anaphylactic shock, I always carry with me an EpiPen. We are about 3 minutes drive from an emergency room. So even if the worst case scenario does unfold today, I should have plenty of time to be able to get to emergency medical attention. All right, my plan today is to take a microdose of stonefish venom. The venom from that neoprene trial is already coating the spikes, so they are locked and loaded, ready to go. When it's all said and done, this should be just extraordinarily painful for me and hopefully very educational for you. This is going to likely be the worst sting that I ever take. I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the stonefish, the most toxic fish in the world. All right, I'm gonna go with this front spine here. Ready? This spine. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. I already feel a burn. I could feel it spreading up my finger right now. And it does not feel good. Wow, the tide is coming in. All right, here, let's, hang on. Let's move out of here, the tide's rolling in.
You okay, Mark?
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna come over here. Andrew, put the fish back in the tank, man. Oh, right there is where the spine went in. God, immediate fire spreading up my fingers. I can already feel it in these 3.
Do you help, Mark? Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay right now. It's like a different magnitude of pain. It is like throbby, achy. Hang on, I gotta walk it off. Yeah. I'm gonna try to tough it out for a little bit. I wanna see how far the venom spreads before I start applying the first aid. This is borderline unbearable. Oh my gosh.
Let me know when you need the water, Mark.
I'm just like, it's making me nervous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it definitely drew a little bit of blood. Oh, and it is hot. It's like closing my hand is becoming hard. Yeah, it's spreading. It's like all up the back of my hand now. I think I need to go for the hot water, guys. I don't want this to spread anymore. I'm going to hot water. There we go. Stonefish is good. Now, I need to fix myself. So this hot water will actually stop the venom from working and should help my pain. Every bit as painful as advertised. I never want to do that again, and I need to get more hot water on this sting. And hopefully the pain subsides, but it's still increasing for me. Tingling pain continued to build and spread up through my shoulder all the way to my neck. Even a month after the sting, I still have numbness and tingles in my fingers. The immediate pain wasn't enough to send me to the hospital, but as we released the stonefish, I could imagine what would happen if a full load of its venom were to go in my foot. That instance would send you directly to the hospital. And if you're ever stung, please, you should seek medical attention as soon as possible. Needless to say, the stonefish certainly lives up to the legend of being the most painful fish on the planet. I'm about to enter the bite zone with the venomous bloodworm on 3. 1, 2, 3. What's going on, guys? I am back in the state of Maine to officially test the bite of the venomous bloodworm. In order to do this justice, we are going to try to find a monster worm. And to do that, I've enlisted the help of legendary bloodworm hunter, Wayne Fishko. Wayne, is this where we find the monster worms?
This is it.
All right, man, let's get digging.
Let's go.
Bloodworms live and hunt deep in the mudflats of Maine, where they can only be dug up during extreme low tides. We've enlisted Wayne's help because he's a professional bloodworm digger with over 30 years of experience. You see, out here, bloodworms are prized fishing bait and vital to the livelihood of many coastal Mainers. So if anyone knows where to find the truly giant bloodworms out here, it's Wayne.
This one's not too bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Is it gonna get deeper?
It is.
It's hard out here, guys. This is work. How's Asa? Asa, you all right?
Yeah, these
these things are really sticking.
Walk on the balls of your feet, bud. You want to be able to twist your heel. When you take it out, it breaks the suction, and basically, you just twist. Yeah, just
Little
twist.
wiggle. Walk and wiggle, guys, like a worm.
As you can see, it's very slow moving in the mud, so we're gonna have to find our bloodworms fast once we get out there. High tide is moving in quickly, and this whole area we're digging in will be 10 feet underwater in less than an hour.
All right, let's get at it.
All right, so this is it?
This
It's
is
going
it.
right in.
I'm getting at it.
Okay.
Cause see, right here. Check
You
this
already
out.
got one?
Check this out. Look.
Oh, wow, that's a big one.
Check that out, man. Look at that. Look at the head on that.
All right, let's put it in the bucket.
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome.
Now I gotta find one. We're trying to dig as many monster-sized bloodworms as we can while the tide is still low. And then we'll pick the largest one, the true monster bloodworm, for the bite test.
Oh, bloodworm. Got my first one.
That's a beauty.
Look at that. Got one. Haha.
That
First
is
bloodworm
a
of the day.
beauty.
Keep working. All right, here's a sandworm. Here's a really good sandworm, too.
Amongst other things, these sandworms are food. It's what the bloodworms are eating out here in the mud flats.
So you see the difference. The sandworm has much longer parapodia. Those are the little bristles, the swimming appendages on the side of the worm, than the bloodworm. And you can see that the difference in color is pretty substantial.
Now sandworms have a nasty bite as well, 2 fangs, but they're not venomous.
Lots of different creatures and creepy crawlies out here on the mud flats. Since we've been digging, Wayne's found like 3 bloodworms. I found 1. I need to get to work. Oh, I got one. I got a huge one. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is the biggest bloodworm I've ever caught. Look at the size of that bloodworm, guys. Huge. Yes. So Wayne, you think the bigger the worm, the bigger the bite?
I think the bigger the worm, the bigger the bite.
All
No
right.
question.
All right, let's dig up a big one, guys. That's what we came for.
Oh yeah.
Look at that right there.
Whoa, that's a monster. That is a huge bloodworm, Wayne. That's a contender. Let's put that in the bucket.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Right there. Now, these are venomous creatures. They do bite, and they bite without warning. Now, one of the ways people are often bit is when they're picking them up from the mud, because they will actually shoot their mouth part out, their proboscis, in order to dig. Watch this. Whoa, you see that? So not only does it use that projectile mouth, that proboscis, to grapple its prey and consume the other worms that live in this environment, it actually uses that proboscis to bore tunnels so it can bury itself down in the mud. See the hole it makes? Pretty darn cool. Oh, what is this? Look at that. Holy smokes. Well, this is a milky ribbon worm. This is a huge milky ribbon worm. Okay, so here, let's take a look at this real quick. Guys, this is a milky ribbon worm. And look how long this worm is. That's definitely over a foot. These worms can grow over 4 feet in length, believe it or not.
I got one right here.
Oh my gosh.
Check that out.
Wayne, can you bring that over here?
I sure can.
Wow. Okay, yours is a lot bigger than mine, Wayne. I'm gonna put my milky ribbon worm down. Let's clean this off. I wanna show you guys. Oh, look at that.
That's it.
Its proboscis came out. Look at that.
That is so cool. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Watch it on your hand. It's gonna crawl all over.
Oh, wow. It is a different world out here on the mud flat. All right, let's put this milky ribbon worm back and keep looking for bloodworms. This is definitely big worm country. Tide's coming in. You see all that water, guys? We gotta keep digging. Oh, that was a big one. That's a huge one. Come on, come out. Ugh. Yes! That is a monster.
It sure is.
Wayne, this is easily the biggest bloodworm I have ever seen. And we have found our contender. And now it's time to set up the bite table and officially rank the bite of the venomous bloodworm. Let's do it. Here we are, back at the bite table. Let's take a closer look at these venomous predators. Wayne, you got our worms?
I sure do, right here.
Oh man, that's a full bucket. Look at all these worms. Oh my goodness. Let's take a few out and get a closer look. Wow, look at that. These are all jumbos. Now these are the only marine worms on the planet that can deliver a venomous bite, but it is not the only venomous worm on the planet. In fact, I've already ranked another species of venomous worm, the bearded fireworm, on the bite sting index. Ah, yeah, the birds. Ah, ah.
and it rated as a 9. In fact, even to this day, I still have scars left over from the fireworm, so I'm curious, can the bloodworm's venomous bite stack up to that venomous sting from the fireworm? Well, today we're officially going to find out. Now let's talk about how it delivers the venom. It is a complex venom, much like snake venom, that they use to incapacitate or paralyze their prey. Once they latch in with those jaws, they inject the venom, stun their prey, so then they can easily eat it whole. And the proboscis, the mouth part, is actually on the inside of the worm, and when it shoots it out of its mouth, it's almost flipping its stomach inside out. And at the end of the proboscis, there are 4 hooked fangs. In addition to delivering venom, those 4 teeth are like grappling hooks, and that's exactly what I want to show you right now. If we can get one to fire off its proboscis, I will attempt to head it, and I will show you a very up-close shot of those 4 hooked fangs. Now, Wayne, I'm gonna give you all the credit for this because until I saw Wayne do this in one of his videos, I had no idea heading a bloodworm was even possible. How did you figure this out?
Just over time. I mean, you see them come out and it's kind of like you've only got that split second. They're so quick, you've got to get behind that base of the head, and to be able to really get a good shot of them, you've really got to be quick, because they are.
These bloodworms are capable of firing off a bite, but in order to do today's bite test, I'm gonna intentionally put those painful grappling hooks into my arm. So let's just watch here. As soon as I see a proboscis fire out, I'm gonna grab it. Oh, got it. Got one. That's a big one too, look at this. Now, if I just hold it, it's going to readjust and show us those fangs. I gotta be careful to not get bitten right now. This is an easy way to take a bite. I do not recommend anybody do this at home. If you ever find bloodworms, this is not the safest way to handle one. All right, there you go. See those jaws? Look at that. That is the inside of the bloodworm's mouth, and you can see there are 4 grappling hook reversed fangs at each corner of the mouth. And not only are those fangs used to pierce the skin and inject venom, but they're grappling hooks. They actually use it to clinch onto their prey and suck it into their mouth and inside the gullet of their body. When it comes to bizarre creatures, it's hard to think of one more bizarre than the bloodworm. Now, I think it's time to pick out the bloodworm that's going to deliver the infamous bite for this video. And to do that, we are going to go for the biggest one possible. All right, I'm gonna grab all the giant bloodworms out of the bucket, and then Wayne will help me pick the biggest of the bunch for the bite. Oh man. Didn't come all the way to Maine to do a bite test with a little bloodworm. No, that one's not gonna cut it. Nope. Small. Small. That one's good. All right, I think we got some contenders here. Wayne, I'm gonna need your help on this one.
Okay.
Let's start eliminating. Like, do you see any in here that look undersized to you? This one looks a little small.
One's a little small.
All right, we'll put this one back.
Yeah. Okay, look at the girth on that one and this one. Look at that thing there.
Oh my gosh.
That thing there is huge.
That's a contender.
It sure is.
All right, put that one back.
I'm gonna say this, this, or this. Let's move these other ones out.
Okay, so these down to these 3.
Yep, down to those 3.
Okay.
Boy, I'll tell you, that one there looks like a nice worm.
Okay.
That really does.
All right. Wayne, this is the one.
That's the one.
This is the beast. These are not small worms either. They're all big, but we're gonna go with the professional on this one. Wayne, I think you picked out a winner, man. Look at the size of this worm. Oh my goodness. I mean, guys, this worm is well over 1.5 feet in length when it's all extended out. But look at how thick it is. And you can really see why they call them bloodworms with this. Look at that. You can see all that dark, oozy blood inside the belly of the worm. And you can see it actually, if I go like this, slides up and down, giving them the name bloodworm. But look at that. Look at how huge it is. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. All right, now we just need to sit here and wait for this bloodworm to shoot its proboscis out. I will head it and then intentionally let it grapple onto my forearm. And once it hooks in, it's not gonna wanna let go. I think getting it to bite is one thing, getting it off is another challenge. And of course, like always, we're gonna rate this bite test for the BSI, the Bite Sting Index, on 3 different factors: intimidation, pain, and aftermath. And I can tell you right now, the aftermath of this bite is gonna be a doozy. All right,
Now the bite from these bloodworms are, oh, got it. Oh yeah. Woo! Talk about a waiting game. All right, here we go, guys. This is it. Oh, this is gonna be gnarly. I'm Mark Benz, and I'm about to enter the bite zone with the venomous bloodworm on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at all those bite marks. Yeah. Must be like 12 bite marks. Oh. Wow. Oh my gosh, it's latched. Latched on. Oh. 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 Oh my gosh, I can feel the venom. Oh, I can't get it off. I can't get it off. Oh. All right, I'm gonna put the worm back. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. It feels like 4 bee stings at once. Each fang I could feel popping through the skin. Oh yeah. And that is gonna swell up, guys. Wait till you see this. See all the redness there? Starting to come through? And that's all my blood. That is not from the bloodworm, that's from me. That's from the fangs going into my skin. It definitely has some kind of anticoagulant in the blood that just with the slightest graze of those fangs, it makes you bleed like instantly. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Were you okay?
Oh, it's gonna be burning for a while. That is a serious bite from a serious marine predator, the bloodworms of Maine. And now it's time to officially rate this venomous marine worm on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index. Run it. Whew. On intimidation, these bloodworms have an ultra high creep factor. They're like an alien from another planet, and watching those hooked fangs move around, knowing they're designed to latch into flesh, sets my nerves on fire. And for that, I rank them an 8.5 out of 10. Now, pain is where the bloodworm truly earns its score on the BSI. Those hooked jaws bit me over and over again, allowing more and more super painful venom to enter my body. Each fang was painful on its own, so getting bitten by all 4 at once, wow, yeah, that hurt. And then the pain for the venom was red hot and caused immediate redness and swelling all around the bite zone. So for all this, I give the pain a 9 out of 10. Now for aftermath, the bite of the bloodworm swelled and itched terribly for over 72 hours after I was bitten. 5 days later, it had essentially healed with no sign that it ever happened in the first place. By comparison, the aftermath of the fireworm sting lasted for months and racked up one of the worst aftermath scores on the BSI to date. The bloodworm, however, still gets a respectable 8 out of 10 for aftermath. Altogether, the bloodworm ranks at an 8.5 out of 10 on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index, climbing high on the all-time rankings, but falling just short of the ferocious fireworm. Now, the sting from this venomous worm is horrible. We're talking searing pain, massive swelling, and even long-term skin damage. So for me, this is gonna be a really bad day. But before I can go through this test, I first have to catch one. And the only way to do that is to get out in the water. We're diving today just off a public beach near Miami, Florida. And if you can believe it, the waters just off these beaches are swarming with fireworms. Fireworms can grow up to a foot in length and are covered in thousands of venom-laced bristles, which has earned them the reputation of being one of the worst stings in the entire ocean. And unfortunately for me, I'm going to experience this firsthand. That is, if I'm able to find one. I'm seeing something in the rocks just ahead. Oh, check that out. Our first spot of the day. That is a moray eel. Moray eels are incredibly territorial and can be aggressive toward divers. So if I want to keep all my fingers, I better also keep my distance. Now these reefs are a promising environment, but still no fireworm. There is a ton of life down here, however, so I have a feeling it's just a matter of time. I think we need to dive deeper. All right, yes, this is looking perfect. What we're looking at here in front of us is a muck bottom environment, which the fireworms love. And you see that orange sponge? That's a fantastic sign. I've seen fireworms covering these sponges many dives before. Okay,
I'm seeing something wormy just up ahead. Oh yeah, there it is. The first fireworm of the day, and a decent sized one too. Whoa, did you see that? The fireworm is flaring out its spines in self-defense, which is gonna make them even more tricky to catch. Even with these gloves on, this is a very dangerous operation that should never be attempted. Please never do this. Taking a sting from a fireworm underwater could easily put you in a life-threatening situation. We have a bit more time left in our tank. Let's see if we can find a few more. Wow, almost immediately we've got another one. Once you find the fireworms, they are nearly everywhere you look. Let's see just how many we can get. Now, for anyone wondering, rest assured, we will be returning all of these fireworms right back where I found them at the end of this video. Wow, that one is an absolute monster. I'm not even sure it's going to fit in this container. Let's try. All right, well, I think we found today's co-star. It's time to take our worms to the surface and for me to face the flame of the fireworm. Since it's important that I return the worms back to the water as quickly as possible, there was no time to waste. So I ditched my scuba gear and got right to setting up for the sting test. The sting table is set. I'm gonna get out a few things that we're gonna be using for today's experiment with the fireworm. I've got a Petri dish. We're gonna place them in some clear Gorilla Tape. You might be asking, Mark, what are you gonna do with that? You'll see in just a few minutes. I've got some white vinegar. Gonna need that for the afterburn. And then of course, this is for me, just a little hydration out here on the beach. I never leave home without my Summit Adventure Fuel. Now I'm gonna keep the rest of the worms covered. We don't need all the worms we found. Of course, we found a lot of worms. There were hundreds of fireworms at this site. The last one that we found, I even had a hard time fitting it inside the jar that I took with me. So I think that's the one we're gonna use for the experiment, because I am curious, does size matter when it comes to the sting of a fireworm? I think today we'll find out. Let's get some seawater in our Petri dish. Nice, clean, and cold. Now time to get out the fireworm. Whoa. Oh yeah. All right, here's second worm going in. Get some of these spines out of there. Check that out. So as you can see, these worms are absolutely covered in thousands of these very small but very sharp venomous spines. Now these spines are constantly growing. So you'll see there's some of them floating around, and it really does look like fiberglass. When you look at it under a microscope, you could see just how sharp the points of the spines really are. So really just even a subtle brush into one of these creatures is gonna land you in a world of pain, right where I'm about to be here in just a few more minutes. But you can also see that red coloration is where they get their name, the fireworm, because they look like they're on fire, and they certainly feel like it when they touch your skin. Now, a lot of people do come into contact with these worms, namely scuba divers and snorkelers, but you do need to be careful if you're out here swimming. If you're walking along and you feel rocks below your feet, there's a good chance that could be the home of a fireworm. If you step on one of these, it's gonna light you up. Wow, and there we go. Come in tight, let's see that right there. That, to me, is the most impressive thing about the fireworm, besides what the venom can do, is this amazing flaring defense. They can just splay and spread out all of those spines so they can encase their entire body. All of that middle bit there, it's no different than your average worm. In fact, when I squeeze it with these tweezers, they're super soft, they're squishy. And if they weren't covered in these amazingly painful spikes, they would be easy pickings for anything that lives out there in the ocean. So now you've heard me mention more than a few times that these worms are venomous. So while yes, those spines will jam into your flesh like a cactus, they release a toxin. There's a mucus that these worms are coating those spines in, much like a lionfish or a stonefish. And when that toxin gets into the skin, it's gonna cause instant searing pain. And that pain will continue to cycle through as long as those spines are lodged in my skin. And then after that, I'm gonna inevitably deal with tremendous swelling, and probably some scarring. This is one of the stings that it's gonna leave lasting damage. Luckily for me, I get stung a lot in this area for the bite sting index, so it's just gonna be one of many scars. It's time to take a sting from this very bizarre marine creature so I can officially rate it on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index. And this is one of the animals that I have been really curious to rate since we invented the Bite Sting Index for Brave Wilderness, where we rate the sting or bite of an animal in 3 different factors: intimidation, pain, and aftermath. And for this worm, the aftermath is what you're definitely going to want to stick around for, because not only will you see just how bad the burn from a fireworm can be, but I'm gonna show you what to do if you are ever stung by one of these venomous creatures. I know how bad this is gonna be. Time to find out. What does the burn of the fireworm do to human flesh? On 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on, I didn't give me good enough. Maybe one more time. Here we go. Puff up. 1, 2, 3. Ah, yeah, that burns. Ah. No. Oh, it's so. Ah. Woo. Oh, do you see all those spines? Oh my gosh. Ah. Ah. Oh, you can already see it's turning red. Oh, I got stung really bad. That's so many spines. Hundreds. I got stung by hundreds. Ah. Oh, it's so bad. Ah. Ah. Okay. Ah. Ah. Oh gosh.
Mark, are you okay?
Oh, it's bad, dude. It's really bad. Hold on. Ah. Ah. Oh. Ah. 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 Oh my gosh, it's so much worse the first time. I've been stung by these before, but never one that big. I have so many spines in my arm right now. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is gonna be my worst sting ever. This is gonna be my worst sting. Ah! Ah! I gotta let it dry. Because once it dries, I can use this tape to remove the spines. Anything that's like super adhesive. If you don't have duct tape, find something sticky. Just like get that stuff out of there. You need to get those spines out of your skin, because right now I can just feel the venom just like lava flowing over top of itself. It's just as bad as a bullet ant. It's just as bad as a bullet ant. It could be worse. Ha! Don't blow on it. Makes it worse. Oh, come on. Dry. All right, I'm gonna walk it off. Hang on, guys. I'm just gonna walk around for a second. Okay, it's dry. All right, I'm taking all I can take. I gotta get these out. All right, piece of tape like that. Any tape will do, but I got this so you can see just how many spines I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna try to do this in one swoop. Here we go. You wanna cover the entire area. Oh, wow. I didn't get a moment to go again, but look at that. Look at how many spines are in there. Come on. Ow! Ah. Okay, holy mackerel. Look at those welts coming in. You see that? Oh my gosh, and they don't even look that bad compared to how it feels. Instantly better as soon as you remove the spines. It really makes a big difference. The next thing you want to do White vinegar. It's gonna help neutralize the burns. Oh yeah. Whatever toxin is left on top of my skin, this vinegar is going to neutralize it. Heavy duty tape, white vinegar. If you don't have it with you, get it as fast as you can, because the faster you can get those spines out of your skin, the sooner you're gonna be on the road to recovery. But I can tell you the road to recovery for this sting is long. And you can see how much the welts are rising. Tomorrow, this is gonna be nasty. Now comes the hard part, the healing process, the aftermath. And the pain score, gonna be high. Intimidation, I'm gonna have to think about that. Aftermath, I'm gonna have a long time to think about that, because the aftermath of this worm is gonna last for weeks. But you don't have to wait weeks. Let's get into it right now and officially rate the Fireworm on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index.
On intimidation, the Fireworm looks intense. The bright red skin combined with thousands of spines remind me of a venomous snake. Plus, having taken a sting before, I know just how easily those spines can get stuck in your skin. And when you see a big one underwater, they are majorly intimidating. So for that, I give it a 7.8 out of 10. For pain, once those spines dug in and started to dose me with venom, the burn was intense. The feeling was similar to being burned and electrocuted over and over again. And unlike my first sting, I got completely nailed this time with at least 5 times the amount of bristles. Needless to say, it hurt badly, and for that, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. The aftermath of the Fireworm is where it scores some serious points. Its burn just kept going and going, day after day and week after week, and the rash would come back with a vengeance, leaving behind these intense itching, pustules, and swelling. Anytime I would get active or start to sweat, the pain would come rushing back, and to this day, there is still some scarring left behind from the burn of this Fireworm. So for this, I give the aftermath score a whopping 9.6 out of 10. All combined, the Fireworm ranks at a 9 on the Brave Wilderness BSI, which is a major score for a majorly painful creature.
The hunt for the world's largest ant, an insect that's nearly twice as big as a bullet ant. And if I find one, my goal today is to figure out if it's twice as painful. Let's get searching. Looking for these giant ants is just gonna be a process of covering ground here at this coastal rainforest in Borneo. This area of the world is one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. There are all kinds of species that live out here, like tens of thousands of species of insects. There are countless species of frogs and lizards, a lot of snakes, and of course, even in the canopy, you could see something like an orangutan out here. This is seriously one of the coolest environments in the world to explore if you're into wildlife. But right now, all I'm into is giant ants. Let's keep our eyes to the ground so we can find one. Seems like good habitat for a big ant. Oh, here we go. Big carnivorous pitcher plants. These plants eat insects and small animals. And what they do is they actually emit a scent that will draw in the insects or some kind of creature looking for a tasty meal. This little door, like a drawbridge, will slam shut, and then that plant will seal, secrete enzymes, and digest the insect or the victim. Super cool. Great find out here looking for giant ants. So let's keep looking. I think it's starting to rain here. Rain on the canopy, but the canopy's so thick you can't feel a drop, especially when you're sweating this much. My gosh. And these ants are big, guys. Like, you will notice them. I would guess if you just stood silent in the forest, you could probably hear them walking. They're so big. Here's another trail. Way more clear. I like this trail. You guys want to take this one? Further into the forest for the giant forest ant. Oh, guys, I got an ant. Hold on, keep my eyes on it. Got it. Oh, buddy. That's our first giant forest ant. But here's the thing. This is a worker ant.
This ant is less than half the size of the soldier that we're trying to find. Okay, let's keep looking. Watch the pitcher plants, guys. There's lots on the trail here. Try not to step on them. Oh, I got one right there. Big ant, huge ant. It is enormous. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that ant. Are you kidding me? Wow. Whoa, it just jumped at me. All right, I gotta get in the jar. Gotta get in the jar. Okay, come on. Yes! Oh, we got one. Yes! Look at the size of that giant forest ant. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is a whopper. That is the biggest ant I have ever seen. Easily chunkier and more sizable than a bullet ant. Wow! All right, let's get somewhere. Let's get somewhere in the clearing and set up the bite table. Got one. All right, guys. Sting table is set. Or by the looks of those jaws, this is a bite table. We have our 2 giant forest ants right here in each container. And the reason I wanted to bring up the smaller worker ant is just so we could see the size difference of these 2 really large insects. The soldier, easily 3 times as big, maybe 4 times. That's why we're gonna put this worker ant aside and get the cameras in close so we can take a macro look at this huge soldier. Okay, here we go. Based on everything I've been able to dig up and research, by weight, the giant forest ant of East Asia is the largest ant on Earth. You typically don't think of ants being this large. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see if this ant indeed has a stinger, to see if this is a bite and sting test or just a bite test. I can tell you right now, just by looking at those jaws, this is definitely going to be a bite test. But let's get it out of the capsule and examine it for a stinger. Look at that, you see the abdomen swing?
Oh yeah.
Can't see a stinger, but there's really only one way to find out. Almost twice the size of a bullet ant. Let's see if it packs the same punch with its stinger. 1, 2, 3. Giving it every chance. Nope, nothing. And just for clarity, guys, I already knew it wasn't gonna sting because these ants have another very unique defense mechanism. Instead of inflicting a sting on any attacker, what they actually do is secrete formic acid. When they bite, they inflict so much damage, they're able to create an open wound, and then they can paint that formic acid in the wound, and it's supposed to burn like crazy. So that is what we're gonna be testing out today on this bite sting test. A sting that's delivered by creating an open wound and then throwing acid into it. Whoa, this is gonna be one for the books. It's time. It's time to enter the bite zone and the acid zone with East Asia's giant forest ant. Here we go. All right, guys, take a look at the jaws of this ant. Seeing those jaws is sending shivers up my spine, guys. This is going to really hurt. And the thing I'm most worried about is not only how bad the bite's going to be, but how long the jaws of this ant are going to be latched onto my finger. A lot of the locals out here will call these giant forest ants suture ants because once they bite, they clamp down and do not let go. The folklore is they used to use these to close wounds. So instead of stitches or staples, they would just use the head of these massive ants. All right, guys, so like always, we're gonna rate this ant on 3 different factors: intimidation, pain, and aftermath.
I think the bite of this ant is going to be immediately painful. There may be some blood involved. This is gonna be brutal. You guys ready?
We're ready, Mark.
I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the bite zone and get sprayed with acid by the world's largest ant. Right there, my finger, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Just bit me twice. That wasn't a good bite. I gotta put it back. Hang on, I gotta get it back on. Did not lock down. Hang on. Not the bite. All right, here we go again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's getting me now. Let go again. Wow. It definitely has the power to bite hard. All right, I gave that ant multiple chances to bite me. It does not want to bite. It gave me a warning bite on the top, another little bite. I don't know if you can see that right there on my finger. Tiny slices. The jaws are razor sharp, but it's not locking down. I'm really shocked. I'm really surprised. Like, looking at this ant, I thought it was going to just savage my finger like the leafcutter ants that I've experienced in Costa Rica. But let me see if I can paint a little acid. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely something there. Whoa. I can definitely smell it too. It's kind of like a vinegar smell, different, but that's the closest thing I can relate it to. And it burns, definitely has a burning effect. I could even see some redness. Yeah, you can see the discoloration. You getting that on camera?
Oh yeah.
It's turning like a yellow, almost like instantly turning the blood like a black brown color. Weird. That's crazy. I expected a lot more from the world's largest ant. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A little bit of a letdown, but for good measure, let's rate the giant forest ant on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index. Roll it.
For intimidation, I can't imagine a more intimidating ant. It's literally the biggest ant based on weight in the entire world, and those steak knife mandibles, along with its bulldog reputation of never letting go during a bite, I have to award this giant forest ant a 9.2 out of 10. For pain, its jaws were sharp and easily sliced through my skin, similar to the leafcutter ants of Central America. However, this ant wasn't interested in locking down and released its bite only after a few moments. So while it was painful at first, it does not compare to those leafcutter ants. And the acid that went in the wound, let's just say the sting from that was painful, but not enough to add too much to the score. So all in all, it gets a 5.3 out of 10. The aftermath was surprising. The acid itself didn't cause any adverse inflammation or swelling, and the wounds from the bite quickly resolved and healed by the end of the day. So the real surprise here is that the world's largest ant by weight couldn't deliver much damage given every opportunity to do so. And for that, it gets a surprisingly low aftermath score of a 2.3 out of 10. And if you combine all of those scores together, the giant forest ant officially ranks at a 5.6 on the Brave Wilderness PSI. I'm going to lightly disturb the entryway. Oh, here we go, got them already. That makes me nervous. The ants are starting to swarm. You see how big they are? This is like a volcano of ants. Oh gosh, almost got me. They're getting on me. All right, I'm gonna have to get our ant fast. Here we go. I got it. Yes. Oh man. Oh. There we go. We've got one. That is a really good sized bulldog ant. Starting to swarm a little too much. Hang out here. Let's go reposition away from the nest so we can get a closer look at one of the scariest ants in the world. Australians fear these massive ants because they attack in swarms and without warning. If you accidentally disturb them, you can be covered in just a matter of seconds. Bulldog ants can be found all over Australia and often build nests in people's yards and local parks, which is exactly where we discovered these ants.
This particular species is one of the largest, growing to over 1 inch in length. And of course, for this sting test, we wanted the big dogs, so we can compare how they rank against the legendary bullet ants of South and Central America. Now it's time to find out which is worse. All right, guys, it is officially go time with the Bulldog Ant. Look at the size of this insect. Size-wise, I would definitely say it gives the bullet ant a run for its money, but appearance, this ant is second to none when it comes to intimidation factor. But before I test the might of this insect, let's get it out of the container and take an even closer look at those jaws and its stinger. All right, here we go. Well, it's already jumping out. I want to be very careful right now. And they are so aggressive. Look at that, it's already biting on the forceps. I'm just gonna try my best to get a good grip. And I'm getting nervous, gosh, hang on. All right, I gotta get it on the ground. Here we go. Unlike other ants, they don't really react to scents and pheromones, they react to sight. So anytime I try to grab it with the forceps, it sees that I'm coming. There we go. Okay, perfect hold. There it is. No animal has been requested for a sting test more than the Bulldog Ant in the history of Brave Wilderness. And now I can see why. Wow, I have never seen a more terrifying looking ant in my entire life. Let's start at the top. Look at the size of those mandibles. They are like serrated shears attached to these bulbous eyes, almost like a vice grip, just ready to snap and pinch on to anything it can touch. Look at the eyes of the ant. You can really see how much it reacts by using its sight. Look how it turns its head to the different ways that I position my finger around it. And then, of course, before we get to the stinger, I just have to say, look at the size of those legs. Because they are visually stimulated, they use their extremely long legs to extend quickly and flick themselves onto any would-be predator, earning them the name jumping jacks. And then, of course, we can see the stinger flying already from the abdomen. Like other stinging insects, only the females can sting. This is actually a sentry or a soldier ant tasked with guarding the front of the nest. And you saw, with just the slightest disruption, a fleet of soldiers came flying out of the nest, ready for attack. They got all over my boots and nearly took a sting right away, but we saved the sting for this moment in the video. The sting of this ant is said to be one of the most painful experiences that you can get from any animal here on the continent of Australia. Some even argue in the world. The biggest difference between bullet and bulldog ant stings are the toxins they use. Bullet ants use a panerotoxin, which is slow building and can last for days, where bulldog ants use formic acid that causes instant pain. And when these ants swarm and cover people by the dozens, they have the ability to take down a fully grown adult. Holy cow, she's looking at me. Oh my gosh, look at that stinger go. I have a feeling this is going to hurt. I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with one of the most terrifying ants on the planet, the Australian bulldog ant. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh God, you see the stinger going in? Ah! Yeah! That's a good sting. Ah! Yeah. Oh! Ah, it's really got its stinger in me. Ah, look at it, stinger's in. Ah! 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 All right, put it back in the jar. Oh, that hurts. All right. Ah! Oh my gosh! Woo! Oh my goodness. Yeah, that burns. That is a super intense sting. Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Let me compose myself. Oh man. That was like instant fire underneath my skin. So much more like potent than the bullet ant. But I can tell you this, the bite was really nothing. Didn't really get a good grip on with those jaws, but it certainly got its stinger stuck in my arm, and it
dry mouth. Hang on, my adrenaline's kicking in.
You okay, Mark?
Yeah, I'm all right, I think. All right. Jeez, it's all so hot out all of a sudden. All right, I think I'm good to continue on. All right. Oh, you bulldog. Oh, all right, see that stinger site? Got a little bit of a acute swelling, maybe some residual bumps, and it definitely burns. I would say the initial onset of the sting, it was like a lightning bolt, way more intense than a bullet ant, but I can tell you it's already starting to subside a bit. But wow, that is a rip shot of pain. Man. Really getting dry mouth, guys. The
Is your EpiPen in your backpack?
it is. I've got my EpiPen, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need it yet, but got to monitor make sure my tongue's not swelling up or anything. But holy cow, that sting is like a hammer. It's like somebody literally just took a hammer and went wham! Instantaneous pain, not even a small delay. As soon as the stinger touched my skin, boom, it was on. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that one, because I don't think I want to go arm to stinger again with that intimidating little ant. Now, I am not out of the woods by any means. I'm gonna continue to monitor this sting over the next 2 days. I can tell you this, a single sting from a bulldog ant so far does not compete with the bullet ant. Unlike the bullet ant that just started to build and build and build, I'm starting to really get past that initial wave of pain. And now I'm just really more dealing with the after effects of adrenaline, starting to get that like queasy stomach, cold sweat, and just simple nausea that I usually get after taking a sting. But a swarm of bulldog ants, I would estimate, could take even the most pain tolerant person to their knees. All right, I think I'm gonna need some ice. Ugh. Sure enough, things got a lot worse. Just hours later, the redness and inflammation flared up and were joined by an intense itching that lasted for several days. Compared to other stings I've taken, this one was a sleeper that turned into a monster. Bulldog ant stings are known for their instant pain, so I was shocked when I was hit with these delayed reactions. While I did not experience the 24 hours of deep bone break pain that the bullet ant gave me, oh, that hurts. That is searing pain. This was far from an ordinary walk in the park. In fact, as of the editing of this video, my arm is still discolored and healing. If I were to have been swarmed and stung like the stick in the beginning of the video, it would have been a very bad situation. But now I know exactly why Australians go so far out of their way to avoid the jumping terror that is the bulldog ant. Yikes. I am out tide pooling in Eastern Australia in search of the deadliest creature on the planet. The blue ring octopus has one of the most toxic venoms on Earth, and if we're lucky enough to find one, I'm going to attempt to touch it with my bare hands. But first things first, let's get looking. From experience tide pooling, the best results are usually from the edge. The further out you can go, the better. An octopus can change the texture of its skin, and it would just look like any of these. Now, I've struck out on all 3 previous occasions trying to locate a blue ring octopus. I'm hoping 4th time's a charm. The difference this time is I'm searching with my good friend Miller Wilson, who has seen blue rings in these tide pools before. It's very hard to pick a octopus that's a master of camouflage out from this environment. It's about to be low tide, and this is probably one of the most dangerous tide pools that I have ever searched. So, wearing some nice protective shoes, gloves. I don't really want to handle the octopus, but the gloves should protect me just in case. And of course, you still need to watch our steps, because if you look at this, all these rocks out here, exactly like a stonefish. And this is stonefish territory. The stonefish is the world's most venomous fish. If you step on one, your boots will not protect you. A single sting from a stonefish can be excruciating and can even be deadly. No octopus. Flipping's not really doing it, so I'm just gonna cruise to cover a lot of ground looking for movement. A lot of times I do see octopus moving from pocket to pocket, but they slink along the surface. So I'm just looking for any movement right now. Any movement, we're getting it though, feel it. Oh my God, I got an octopus. I got a blue ring, guys. It's right here. There it is. I missed it. It's right in here. It's right here. How could I miss that? That was it. Got it. Oh my gosh. We got one. Are you kidding me? Yes. Boom, baby. Boom. Yes. Holy cow. Miller, we're good. We got one. Can you help me get out of the net? So, you'll see I'm wearing gloves, guys, for a reason right now. This is a really good way to get a nip. And that is not what I want. Put that guy in there. There we go. Hey, buddy. Let's talk about what we found. Right there in my hand is the most dangerous animal on the planet, at least when it comes to venom. Nothing in the animal kingdom is more toxic than this tiny little octopus. And yes, I am nervous about it, but before the end of this video, I will officially touch with my bare hand the most dangerous and toxic creature on Earth. There are actually 4 described varieties of blue ring octopus. This one is the blue lined octopus. It's the only one in the family that has these really cool, vivid blue pinstripes surrounding the body. It's almost like blue tiger stripes. So if this animal is at all threatened, here I want to show you what it does. See that? Look at those rings go. Is that cool or what? Oh, okay. Stay down, stay down. If the octopus is at all agitated, not only does it flare up the rings on its arms, but those lines on its body glow. Back up, I'm toxic. That's your aposematic warning. And if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna give you a nip. And they show these vivid display warnings not only for predators, but they also do it while they're hunting. They will do it to confuse or startle their would-be prey. This is what our octopus friend here is out hunting. This is a type of shore crab, but this would be the perfect food for the octopus. All right, we're gonna let this crab go. A single bite from this octopus could kill over 20 human beings. Needless to say, if I get nipped by this creature, that'll be the last nip I ever take. Now, these octopus are nocturnal, and they are masters of camouflage. Its normal color pattern perfectly blends in to this silty environment. They have 3 hearts that pump blue blood. They also have 9 brains. 1 central brain to run the entire nervous system, but then at the base of each arm, they have another brain. And you can see there, that little beak holds 2 venom sacs. And it's actually a toxin that it doesn't even produce itself, that it actually picks up through bacteria that it finds in the environment, through other organisms in this tide pool, and it collects this bacteria in its salival glands, and when it uses its beak to bite into its prey or a predator for escape, it will actually inject saliva into the wound. Once this saliva enters the bloodstream, you get infected with TTX. No animal has as lethal of a dose as the blue ring octopus does. If you get even a micro amount of TTX in your bloodstream, all you can do is be put on life support and hope that eventually your body works through the toxin on its own. And here's the worst part about it. While you might be in complete paralysis, you are lucid. There are survivors that have lived to tell the tale of having people try to resuscitate them, giving active CPR, and they weren't able to communicate, but they remember everything. And a lot of people get bitten by these octopus
because of mistaken identity. You'll come out to a local beach in Tideful. Guys, turn your cameras right now. This is an active beach. People take their dogs and kids and play on this beach, and these animals live all along the coastline. Now, that's not to scare you. Obviously, we're out here actively looking for them. They're hard to find, but people do unfortunately come into contact with these octopus, and they will pick them up, play with them, and in that process take a bite, which is completely painless, by the way. Initial symptoms are going to be things like tingling, difficulty breathing, difficulty thinking, loss of your motor skills, wobbly walking. If you think you are ever bitten by a blue ring octopus and you start to have symptoms, you have to be rushed to the hospital as fast as you can. We're talking like life flight situation, because you only have a matter of minutes before your whole nervous system starts to shut down and you're no longer able to breathe. Whew. And saying all that while holding the octopus in your hand, it's hard to remember the last time I was this nervous in the presence of an animal. All right, the time has come for something that I've thought a lot about. Because I know the only way that this octopus has the ability to envenomate you is a bite with its beak, I'm going to attempt to touch with my bare hand the most lethal, toxic animal on the planet. In order to do that, I'm gonna just dump out this water. Look at that. The octopus is trying to mimic the color of the cube. Rest assured, this is just a camouflage tactic. They are masters at this. That octopus is still very much able to pounce and bite. They can spend extended periods out of water. All right, so just so you guys know, if this blue ring does snare me, we're going to the hospital. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. That made me nervous. All right, lid back on. I don't think I was just bitten now, but I'm not completely sure. I had to take a break, guys, because like I'm definitely feeling a little lightheaded, like major anxiety. That animal right there, if you get bit, it's game over. It's lights out. Guys, I am like shaking right now. Like my feet are tingling. Things that you normally wouldn't pick up on, like heart rate, how I'm breathing, tingle feeling. Like I'm just from like all the adrenaline pumping through my body, and the emotions are intense, super intense. Gotta shake that off. The anxiety that I'm experiencing on camera is real, as I had almost identical symptoms to that of a blue ring bite. While I was 99% sure I wasn't bitten, we had to closely monitor my symptoms until we deemed it safe enough to continue filming. The symptoms of these bites can be subtle and can be hard to differentiate from anxiety and panic from other sources of stress. Please, never attempt to do what you are seeing in this video. I cannot stress enough, if you are bitten by a blue ring octopus, you must seek medical attention immediately. I think I'm all right. I think I'm okay to continue. Let's keep going. Okay. It's been a while since I've had this kind of reaction to being in an encounter with an animal. Like it's like my first time seeing a venomous snake. It's like all kinds of emotions right now. Just brushing up against one in the tide pool, whether you're walking around, if you accidentally touch one, you're gonna be just fine. It's like every other octopus. The difference only occurs when you take a bite from the beak right there. Welcome to the Sonoran Desert, one of the harshest environments in the continental United States. This terrain has become a staple for brave wilderness. From the Gila monsters to the tarantula hawks, even the plants are out for blood. In fact, that's exactly why we're here. Ah! Ah, yes, here we go. The jumping cholla in all its glory. Now, there are over 30 different species of this segmented cacti that inhabit North and South America, and they all have different names. This one, I could tell right away, is none other than the teddy bear cholla. But I will warn you, this plant is definitely not soft and cuddly, so you don't want to give it a hug if you're out here in the Sonoran Desert. Now, if you take a closer look at those spines, you'll notice that they are pointing in nearly every direction, almost like some kind of geometric nightmare. Oh, but it gets worse. On every single spine is a characteristic called glochidia, which are small bristles with backward-facing barbs. This microscopic feature makes the choya difficult to remove once it is adhered to any surface or unlucky passerby. Now I know what you're thinking. Are these plants just plain evil, or is there a method to their madness? Well, as it turns out, each and every single segment of this plant is a potential seed for the next offspring. They've adopted what's called vegetative reproduction. But what's with this name jumping choya? Their name is a bit of a myth. It comes from the idea that the plants actually have the ability to jump at their would-be victims. However, that's not the case. But what they can do is fall. So a good gust of wind or vibrations in the ground can cause the segments to fall, especially in the dry season. And at this point, I want to show you guys the methods to remove a choya plant from your body. But let's be honest, you've seen this before. Yeah. Today, it's my turn. And in order to show you the right ways to remove a choya, I'm gonna need to get myself good and spiked up. So the team and I have decided to create the ultimate choya challenge, also called the sharpest maze in the world. And if you look right behind me here, you'll notice there's a lot of choya. In fact, not just choya, there's all kinds of spiky, nightmarish plants. These are things you would never, ever want to walk through. But here's the deal. If you were to go all the way to the end of the maze, over 100 yards, you would find a table. What's on this table, you might ask? Well, it just so happens to be my favorite dessert of all time. The delicious, the scrumptious, the completely irresistible red velvet cake. And this one just so happens to be made from my favorite bakery in Los Angeles, Baker's Lane. So, trust me, I really want to have that dessert in the desert. But here's the deal, in order to get it, I need to make my way through this maze in under 2 minutes. And the kicker is, I've got to do it while being blindfolded.
Actually, Mark, I thought the blindfold might be a little too easy to see through.
Huh?
So I got you these blacked out goggles instead. I'm gonna take that bandana from you there.
I could work with this, okay. I really want that cake. All right, folks, here it goes. If you've ever wanted to see a human pincushion, stick around for the next few minutes. This is about to get crazy.
Alrighty, folks. Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned desert showdown. No sense poking around. Let's get right to it. 2 minutes on the clock. Let's give him some spins for good luck. And he's off.
That, man.
Straight.
To your right, to your right. Good, good. To your left, Mark, to your left.
Oh, God, straight.
Yep, straight ahead. Oh, watch out for that one by your leg. Back up just a little bit and then go straight. There you go.
Oh, I can't see a thing.
There we go. We got a little bit of a clearing
Time
here.
check.
You got about 1:30. Watch your chin.
Which way?
Oh, man. Back up.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, Mark, we gotta keep going. To your right, to your right.
Right?
To your right.
What is that? That's another one, is it?
No. Straight ahead. Yep, side step. Step with your left leg forward. Yeah, just go straight, Mark. Just go straight.
Oh my gosh, how far am I?
Halfway through, Mark. Come on. Don't get too close to those. Keep shuffling.
God.
There you go.
My leg's seizing up, man.
Well, we're in between two very sharp plants. So what we need to do, yep. You just turned yourself perfect.
Okay.
Go forward. There's a bush right below you, though. Step over that with your left leg. There you go.
Am I doing the right thing? I can't.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to feel for bushes with my feet.
Shuffle. There you go.
Am I close?
You're close. We got about 30 seconds, though. We got to make it.
I'm like terrified to finish this, Corey. Help me.
All right, this part's tight.
Dude, I'm stuck. I'm freaking stuck.
Ooh, he's gonna feel that one for a while. Let's slow that down real nice like and see an instant replay.
Okay, you just have to move forward. You're right there. It's right in front of you.
Oh, I feel the table. Ah, got the cake. Yes! Victory!
Oh, dude, you made it with like 2 seconds to spare.
All right, I need you guys to remove the goggles because I'm like, I can't move right now. Corey, I'm gonna need your help. How bad is it? How bad is it?
It's bad, dude.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Was it worth it, man? Take a
see,
bite.
Let me see.
Made it this far.
Oh, it makes it better. That certainly makes it better. Oh yeah, that's good cake. Okay. We gotta get these out. All right, I really need the stuff off the back.
I'm just gonna keep going, man. Ready?
Okay. Oh!
Heartaches, heartbreaks, heartbroken. Over and above you.
All right, keep going, man.
Had you ever thought of starting over? Starting
2, 3.
from the bottom again.
Yep, that was the worst one. Tell you guys what, I am so happy I wore a cup. Okay, so here we go. Now, as you can see, I only have the choya left that are on the front side of my body. And this is the point of the video where I would like to attempt to show you how, if this happens to you, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, how to properly remove these choya with the least amount of pain possible. The number one thing you want to avoid doing, this is like rule number 1 with choya, you never, ever, under any circumstances, try to remove choya with your hands. Even if you have gloves on, as you can see, these things go through boots, they go through fabric. So don't use your hands, you want to use a tool. Now, what tool should you use? Well, I'm glad you asked. Corey, my comb, please. Thank you, sir. No, I'm just kidding. It's not for my hair, but one of the best tools for removing the choya is a large tooth comb, just like this. Work the teeth under the spines until you grab the choya. You could kind of see I've got the fruit pulling up now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whew. Okay, that's one. Ooh, this one's gonna hurt. Go! Yeah! Yes! Yes, sir, that hurts. Okay, so the comb, it does the trick. But let's be honest, if you're out here hiking the Sonoran Desert, pretty good chance you don't have a large tooth comb in your kit. But what you might have is something like this. The Brave Wilderness team never leaves home without a good multi-tool, and I highly recommend you do the same. So you want to open 2 points of contact, just like the comb, wiggle it in there. See how I have good purchase? Ah, that hurts. 1, 2, 3. Ga! Ga! Velvet cake, velvet cake, velvet cake. Okay, I think I need to get this one off. This is a good opportunity for me to show you yet another technique. Corey, sticks please. Thank you, sir. Now, if you can't find any sticks, just look harder, because you definitely don't want to use your hands, like I said before. What you want to do is take the sticks, work them underneath, get purchase, and then same as the other ones. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, just like that. But I gotta be honest with you, I much prefer the multi-tool, so I'm going back. Okay, this is gonna be a good one. And the final, choya. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the Sonoran Desert and all of its spiky inhabitants and how to remove the pesky choya should you ever have an encounter of your own. I'm Mark Vins. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next challenge. Ready, guys?
1, 2, 3. Ah!
Oh, yes. That cake was worth every single spine. And speaking of our spiky little friends that joined me on today's adventure, we actually did them a big favor by helping these choya complete their journey across the desert. Grow strong, little ones. And if you enjoyed this challenge, make sure to head over to the Mark Vin's channel and check out my experiment to prove, once and for all, who is the spikiest cactus in the West.
Ow!
I'm just gonna say it right now. It only gets spikier from here.
What I have here in front of me is a 3.5-foot electric eel, capable of producing an electric shock up to 860 volts, enough to take down a horse, let alone me. To put that in perspective, that's about 8 times the voltage that's in your household outlet. And I never stuck my finger in the outlet as a kid. I listened to my mom, but right now, I'm about to stick my hand in this tank to experience the shock of an electric eel. Can't tell, I am definitely nervous. This is easily the craziest thing I've ever done on the Brave Wilderness channel. Whew. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how nervous I am right now. Ah, all right, here we go. Gonna go for a shock. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Now, before you witness the results of my first electrocution, it's important to note that this electric eel is an educational ambassador for its species and was not harmed by shocking me. Please do not attempt to recreate what you're about to see. This experiment was filmed under the supervision of professionals.
Ah! Whoa! Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow! Holy smokes! Ooh, yeah, that you don't expect. You definitely do not expect that from a fish. Wow, holy mackerel. You see an animal like this and yeah, it looks strange, but you never in your life expect a fish to be able to shock you like that. Whoa, as soon as I made contact with the eel, it was like instant, oh my gosh. Whew. The good news is, my first shock with the electric eel is over. The bad news is, that's not my last shock of the day. This is just the beginning. Underneath that tarp, we have an absolutely monstrous electric eel, one that will dwarf the size of this one. And in case you're wondering, yes, size does matter when it comes to shocks in electric eels. But before we get to the ultimate shock, we need to understand a little bit more about what's going on inside the body of this animal that allows it to produce this tremendous amount of energy. In order to do that, I've invited my good friend Diana, physics girl, here today to put me through a few more shock experiments so we can learn a little bit more about what's going on in the electric eel. All right, let's go meet up with Diana. Oh boy, Diana. I'm usually so excited to see you. Why am I nervous right now?
I mean, usually I haven't brought one of these to our reunions.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
What is this, speaking of?
Yeah. Well, you wanted me to teach you about how shocking works, and so that's what we're gonna do with this thing here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna turn this on. You're going to then touch it quickly, but as I turn it on, as it gets warmed up, you're gonna feel like a little tingling.
All right, hold up.
Yeah.
I have to touch this?
You're gonna have to touch it. Yeah. Okay, ready?
Okay, go for it. Wait, why do you look nervous?
Because I hate this thing.
Okay.
I've experienced it.
All right.
Yeah, finger straight out toward that big metal sphere. Mm-hmm.
Ah!
Try your arm, try
my arm?
Yeah. Woo,
Whoa.
that was a big one.
Whoa! See my hair standing up? I think I can smell my hair burning, actually. Whoa!
How does that feel?
Ah, that's about as much as I can take. And now, you've got my attention. How does this relate to electric eels?
So what we're doing with this thing, this is called a Van de Graaff generator, and it's the perfect thing for understanding charge because what happens here is a bunch of charges build up on this sphere, and then as soon as you bring your hand near it, they discharge, they actually travel through the air to your finger.
So that's like the little lightning bolt that I'm
Yeah.
seeing. Got it. So, okay, I think I understand now. So basically, this Van de Graaff globe represents an electrocyte in the eels.
Yeah, exactly. In the eel, they build up charge and then it discharges all at once, just like the spark from the Van de Graaff generator.
Got it. So it's like a chain reaction. So very much like a battery. And here's a cool fact. The first battery was actually invented by a gentleman named Volta, and he actually designed his first battery off of the inner workings of the electric eel. So without this animal, there would be no Duracell, and there certainly would not be a Tesla, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the eel, we couldn't measure the first shock, but we know they can be up to like 860 volts. How many volts was this?
This is about 350,000.
A what?
350,000 volts.
How am I standing here? Are you trying to kill me?
That's the difference between voltage and current.
Got it.
You need to know about both. So we've got one more experiment to learn about current.
Okay, so there's more shocks to come.
There's a lot more. Next experiment I've got, so this is a TENS unit. A lot of people are probably more familiar with this. So this is gonna give you some little pulses of electricity through your arm.
All right.
It is going through your skin and some of the tissues just below your skin. And now I'm gonna turn it on and then I'm gonna go ahead and just bump it up little by little.
Okay.
You feel anything?
Nothing. Oh yeah, something's happening.
Yeah, you felt that?
Yeah, a little something.
What does it feel like?
It feels tingly. Yeah, I think I could take some.
How about-
Oh! I didn't do that.
Can we
I
go up
mean-
a little higher? We're at number 2, by the way.
How high does it go?
Out of 8. How are you feeling?
I think I can go to a 4. Let's try a 4.
Okay, we're gonna go up to a 3.
I'm not doing that, I swear.
I feel a little bad, but not that bad. We probably only got up to about 25 volts there. So
Really?
It's really, really low in comparison.
Oh, I would have guessed it was like 1,000,000 volts.
Nope,
Okay.
nope. But the thing is that there's more energy flowing, more charges flowing through here. Should we go higher than a 4? How do you feel about that?
Let it rip.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go, up to as high as I can.
Ah! Okay. Tap out. Okay.
That was a 6.
Good.
That was
a 6.
That was a 6. But yeah, the biggest difference is that there's more current flowing.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna get you because you've got more energy. Plus, it's not as fast. Like the eel, the Van de Graaff generator, like bam, you're done. This is continual.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
current's what's gonna do you in.
I still need this hand for another eel shock. So we needed to find a way for everyone at home to see the shock from the eel because like obviously right here, you could see that I was feeling the current. You could see the lightning bolt from the Van de Graaff, but you can't really see anything happening with the eel shock. How can we maybe visualize it?
Yeah, so we've got one more thing set up to be able to see there's actually electricity running through the water.
As it turns out, the electric eel isn't actually an eel at all. It is a species of knifefish that are more closely related to carp and catfish. But they are definitely electric. Their tail contains 3 electric organs that are each packed with thousands of cells called electrocytes. These cells act like a series of batteries, one stacked on top of another, and by moving electrons across their surface, they can produce shocks on demand. And I mean big shocks, and lots of them. So for this next experiment, we're going to harness all of that energy and turn it into visual fireworks that you can see.
Whoa, what is this?
Come on in here. Okay, so this is a Tesla coil.
Okay.
Yeah, so you remember the spark from the Van de Graaff generator?
I sure do.
Much bigger on this one, and we are not gonna touch this one because the sparks are gonna be like 6 inches. This one's dangerous.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't bring this one. This was made, actually rigged up by my friends from Arc Attack.
Okay.
And this whole system was made by them. There's some probes in the water, in the tank. We will sense the electric shock from the eel through the water, and then it's directly connected to the Tesla coil. So we'll be able to see through the spark every single time the eel is shocking the water, or you.
Or me.
Or we'll see it, we'll hear it. It's gonna be really cool.
Well, this is perfect. Thank you for building this. Thank you to Architect for putting this together. I think all that's left to do now is to reveal the eel and fire this up. It's time for the grand finale, folks. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. I'm so nervous. All right, ready, Diana?
I'm ready.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's the whole tank.
Oh my gosh.
That eel is over 1 meter in length, over 1.5 feet longer than the eel this morning. And like I told you, size does matter when it comes to electric eels and their shock. Basically, the bigger the battery, the bigger the charge. Should we turn on the Tesla coil?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh! What?
That is all the eel.
That makes it so much worse.
Every single shock, that's all the eel. Oh, Mark.
I was so nervous earlier. This is making it way, way worse. Okay,
That is so cool, but I do not envy you.
here we go.
You may be wondering why this electric eel is producing electricity unprovoked. Well, there's a reason they have 3 electric organs. The sax organ pulses with a lower voltage shock, which is used like radar for electrocommunication and navigation throughout its environment. This is important since they live in the murky waters of South America and have extremely poor eyesight. Then there's the main and hunter's organs. These are the ones that produce those infamous high voltage shocks, which are used to stun their prey so they can be swallowed alive.
All right, here we go. Okay. All right. On 3, here we go. I'm Mark Vins, and this is getting shocked by a really big electric eel. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Got nervous, sorry.
This really sets the scene for you, Mark.
Sure does. Thanks, Diana. I love science. All right. That's the eel doing all this.
That's all the eel.
Okay, let me see if I can feel it. Oh,
You felt that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I can tell you this, the eel this morning was not doing this.
Yeah.
This eel is feisty. This shock is gonna be bad. All right, here we go. This shock is gonna be really bad. All right, here comes the big shock. I'm Mark Vins, and this is getting shocked by a really big electric eel. Here goes nothing. 1, 2, oh, I can feel it in the water. 3. Oh! Yeah! Oh my gosh!
You okay, Mark?
Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. That really felt bad. Oh. Yeah. That was so much worse. That was a lot worse than this morning. Holy smokes. Did you see the shock? I heard it.
Yeah.
Oh man, like, sorry, I'm trying to compose myself. Let me try to describe to you guys what I just went through. Obviously, I got shocked really bad, like holy cow. You could hear the Tesla coil. I think it might have exploded, I don't know. Before I could feel it, my legs were locked, I could, my abdomen locked up.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm trying to tell everybody what it was like.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Did we
mean,
break the Tesla coil?
I'm not sure.
I think it exploded.
That sound is like a horror movie. Like it was like a bzzz.
I could still feel it.
Yeah.
Like up
The
and down.
tingles?
Yeah,
Does it burn? Like what is it?
It's just like, I think it's just my nerves are just like
You were
freaking
just
out.
fully fired on
Yeah.
that side of your body?
Yeah, it's definitely up
only
here.
on the one side?
Yeah, like this arm's fine, this arm,
Crazy.
and then up through here.
Oh my god.
Dude, your ear's red.
Is it?
It's bright red.
Holy, look at that.
Yeah.
Bright red.
Is it? It
Yeah.
feels hot. That was the craziest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Live to tell about it. Shocked by an electric eel. Diana, thank you so much.
Oh my god.
If you haven't checked out Physics Girl on YouTube, Diana does some pretty darn cool experiments. I highly recommend you subscribe to her channel. Big thanks to Architect. I hope I didn't break your Tesla coil. And thank you for watching this video. This is absolutely the craziest thing I've ever done, but hopefully you learned a lot today about electric eels and how crazy of an animal they truly are. I'm Mark Vins. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next experiment.
Oh god.
Let's go.
Hey guys, today we're swimming with dolphins. I'm Mark Vins, and welcome back to Blue Wilderness. To say we've had some close encounters on this show would definitely be an understatement. I mean, who can forget the time I laid beside a lemon shark at the bottom of the ocean on our very first night dive? Or the time we were swarmed by porcupine fish, and I even got to pet one. Or swimming with those big, beautiful tiger sharks at Tiger Beach. Yep, it's no secret that getting up close and personal is one of our specialties. But there's a big difference between witnessing an animal in the wild and actually communicating with one. The Atlantic spotted dolphin is one of the most social, playful, and intelligent animals in all of the sea. And something almost miraculous happened when we ran into a pod of these incredible creatures off the coast of Bimini. And honestly, I never would have believed it myself if I didn't see it with my own two eyes. Bimini is an island chain that comprises the westernmost portion of the Bahamas. And believe it or not, it's only about 50 miles due east of Miami, Florida. But in many ways, feels like a completely different universe. It's said that Bimini was even referenced by Ponce de Leon in his search for the Fountain of Youth. And it's pretty easy to see why. The blue waters here are alive and absolutely breathtaking. On this adventure, we teamed up yet again with Jonathan Bird and his Blue World crew for the search of these Atlantic spotted dolphins. But finding them isn't always easy, and you have to know where to look. And fortunately for us, the crew of our ship, the Dolphin Dream, has been doing this for many years, and are world-renowned experts at locating the Atlantic spotted dolphins. They know just where to look and can even identify individual dolphins from these world-famous pods.
So believe it or not, we don't really find the dolphins, they find us. These dolphins have been playing with the Dolphin Dream for over 40 years. This is a very special population of Atlantic spotted dolphin that do this. You definitely don't want to jump in the water with just any pod of dolphins. It can be potentially dangerous, and they might not be that friendly. So you definitely don't want to do this by yourself, and you want to make sure you're with a professional team if you're ever going to swim with wild dolphins.
As it turns out, these mammals love boats, and more specifically, they love surfing the wake from the boats, like the Dolphin Dream. So Mario, Jonathan, and I posted up at the bow of the boat and scanned the blue horizon, and after a couple of hours, we spotted them. Or more accurately, they spotted us. Look at them there, right next to the bow. It was time to jump in. We're leaving the scuba gear on deck for this adventure because we want to stay as light and as agile as possible. These dolphins are incredibly fast. So the only things we'll be bringing into the water with us are our snorkel gear, some GoPros, and a bandana. Yeah, you heard that right, a bright red bandana.
So these Atlantic spotted dolphins that we're going to be trying to play with love colorful things. So these bandanas are sort of an offering or a toy that we're going to bring out there into the water with us. And the hope is that it'll keep the dolphins entertained so we get some really cool shots in the process.
You see, the thing is, these dolphins love to play. And it turns out they are experts at a version of underwater capture the flag. But it doesn't always work out that well. Let's face it, humans are kinda slow and, well, boring if you're a dolphin. But we tried to get them interested to play the game anyway. And after some free dives and a little bit of taunting with that bandana, it almost worked. And I began to see the personalities of these dolphins start to come out. In fact, it became clear pretty fast that the Atlantic spotted dolphins are incredible animals. They have streamlined bodies, perfect for speed and acrobatics. They are known to leap playfully out of the water alongside boats, and they swim in pods anywhere from 5 individuals all the way up to 100. In other words, these are social animals. Although I wouldn't fully understand just how social they were until later. The difference between the adults and the calves was easy to spot. Juveniles are born both smooth and gray and only develop their spots over time. And it is estimated that these dolphins can live between 30 and 40 years of age. And They can stay underwater for, get this, up to 10 minutes at a time. Whoa. Considering all of that, this was a lot for us humans to keep up with. And as much as we tried, we couldn't get this pod to take the hint. So, we brought out the sea scooter to sweeten the deal. The sea scooter allowed us to zip around at depth, spin with the dolphins, and play with them at their speed. But unfortunately, this pod just wasn't into it, and off they went.
Well, we just had about 25 spotted dolphin swimming all around us. Unfortunately, they didn't hang out very long, so we're gonna get back on the boat so we can go find another group for round 2.
It's true that many people have been deeply moved by their encounters with these animals. And once we were back aboard the Dolphin Dream, I was afraid that we would not get to have this experience for ourselves. And as the day dragged on, our hopes grew more and more dim. But then, just as the sun started to dip low in the sky, we spotted another pod.
Here we go, dolphin time, let's do it.
This time, it was a much larger group of dolphins, and it was instantly obvious that they were excited and ready for some fun. Their distinct vocalizations and powerful swimming yet again reminded us that we were in their world. But their nudges and playfulness made us feel welcome and right at home. The game started with the dramatic freedive of the sea scooter. The dolphins gave chase, and what followed seemed to be almost choreographed. They mimicked our swimming, sometimes chasing us, and sometimes allowing us to try to chase them. But they always stayed just a fin ahead. And that bandana, I decided to give that one more chance. So I dove down as far as I could and let it go. And to my surprise, they took it. Instantly, my mind raced with excitement. Let the games begin. As soon as they had the bandana in their possession, they raced around like a well-practiced sports team, passing it back and forth to each other from their tail fins all the way to their pectoral fins, playing a nearly flawless game of keep away. And as we all chased around my bandana, which was hilariously always just out of reach, I realized we weren't just goofing around with these animals, we were communicating with them. We were communicating in sport. Because in this moment, we were playing a well-organized and coordinated game. And it was a game with rules. And the main rule was, keep the bandana away from the slowpokes, all while being good-natured and fun. Have you ever seen a dolphin smile so big? Look at that. I just can't grab it. What's most amazing about this is that this is the kind of thing that you do with friends, not with wild marine mammals. But under that mysterious deep blue surface, in a region once thought to contain the mythical fountain of youth, the spark of intelligence and friendship was clear to everyone present. I had never experienced anything like this in my entire life. It was like I was playing one of my favorite childhood games with some friends down the block. But they weren't just friends down the block. These were wild marine animals. And the connection we made through sport was proof of their incredible intelligence. And the game played on. In fact, it went on for a while, and we chased around that bandana as hard as we could. And when we began to slow and show signs of fatigue, the dolphins initiated contact with us. Almost like saying, "Good job, human. You're holding your own down here, and we appreciate your effort. Now let's keep playing." But ultimately, this wasn't our playground. This was the ocean. This was their playground. And as hard as we tried, we just couldn't keep up. And eventually, we became flat out exhausted. And then, as the sun set, our new friends said their goodbyes and swam back into the abyss. And would you believe it? They were even nice enough to give back my bandana. I'll take that, thank you very much.
That was so cool. I never thought swimming with dolphins would be so amazing, but today was quite possibly the coolest thing we've ever done.
That was awesome.
Dude, nice job. There it is. I successfully got my bandana back, but wow, what an epic day. Swimming with dolphins off the coast of Bimini has to be one of the coolest things we've ever done, and certainly something I'll never forget. I'm Mark Vins. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next dive. We'd like to extend an extra special thank you to Jonathan Bird, the Blue World Dive Team, and the crew of the Dolphin Dream. They truly made this expedition the memory of a lifetime. If you love aquatic creatures, make sure to check out the Blue Wilderness channel on YouTube so you can join me and the crew on our next dive.